Hey everybody! So in this video I'm going to do a brief tutorial with the pen tool. The pen tool is primarily what you will be using for your poster project illustration. And pen tool, you really can't get away from it when you're using Illustrator. If you're working as a designer, you're going to be using this tool often and learning to basically draw with your mouse. And as I trace this image that I'm going to place into Illustrator, I'll walk you through what my left hand is doing on the keyboard as well. So pen tool is right here. Keyboard shortcut is P. So let's say I'm on my move tool, which keyboard shortcut is V. If I want to get to my pen tool, I can just hit P. That keyboard shortcut comes in handy, especially as you are drawing and filling in shapes and everything else. Do not use this curvature tool to primarily draw the illustration for your poster project. This tool might be useful somewhere else, but I've had students in the past who try to draw everything with this curvature tool and things don't go well and they get very frustrated. Pen tool can be frustrating enough as it is, so just use the pen tool, don't use this curvature tool. So pen tool, essentially, if you're not, if you're only using your mouse and just clicking, you create these anchor points. The more anchor points that you have in a drawing, in anything that you are producing in Illustrator, the more data that's going to be attached to that file. So you really want to use the less anchor points, the better. I have my smart guides on right now, so that's why you can see as I hover over a spot, a smart guide will show up and say, oh, this point is in line with this other point. So just clicking, you're creating these points and closing your paths. So both of these are examples of closed paths. An open path would be something like this, just a line, or even these two lines, and I pressed escape to get out of creating another side to this and adding another path. So when you're drawing your poster, you primarily want to use closed paths. Don't have open paths like this. Like let's say I'm drawing an eyebrow of some sort and I just decide to use two lines to do that. No, you need to close the path and make a shape. One thing that you can do with open paths, and what I've done here is I've just clicked, when I've clicked the other anchor point, I've dragged out and I get these handles, and these help me make curves and determine the angle of what's the next line that's going to be created with the pen tool. So let me hit escape, and real quick I'm just going to go up to effect and go to 3D, effect, 3D, and actually I want to use revolve, and I'm going to hit preview, and let's just see what this does from this very simple line that I drew, this very simple curve. You can see that things are rendering. I really love the 3D effects that Illustrator has to offer. I especially like using it with text. And look at that. I'll say OK. So from that simple, very simple line, I've created this, this cone shape, which is pretty cool. Again, using the 3D effect is going to add some data to your file, add some bytes to it. So it's just something to watch out for. But now I have this, really interestingly rendered object. Also, you want to pay attention to your strokes and fills. I don't want a fill as I'm drawing, but I will use a stroke, and a black stroke is fine. So drawing curves, if I click and drag down, oh, let me go back to my pen tool, sorry. If I click and drag down, I get my handlebars, and then you'll see, if I click and drag again, I can create this kind of S curve whatever direction you're dragging in, you know, if I'm dragging down, my curve's going to go up. If I'm dragging up, my curve's going to go down. And your pen tool exercises that you're going to be doing, you know, just help you practice this concept. Okay? And when I bring in the element to trace, that's when I'll talk about what's going on with my my left hand and using my keyboard. So here's just a very simple introduction to the pen tool. You can always adjust the size of your stroke. If you want to, you know, in our poster illustration, you're primarily using fills instead of strokes. But that's just something that know that you can adjust the size to create different line qualities. Okay, in this next video, I'm going to do a pen tool tracing and talk about